Hey folks, today we've got a vintage computer video. Well, relatively vintage. We're talking like 2001 here. So here's the story behind these. I showed these in I think a computer update video not too long ago. And these have a funny story. So I was on eBay just, window shopping and looking at old computers. I was like, I wonder what these cost today. I do that every now and then just for fun, because I just have nothing to do that day, I guess. And I come across a set of 4 iBook G3s. These 4, in fact. And they come with one power adapter. They're all parts or repair, but they all look like they're working. It seems like a school just... Basically what I think happened is these belong to a school district. In fact, I know they did because when I booted one of these up, I found a school district's name in it. So I think what they did is they just took these out of service, and these, I guess, were lying around the school for a long time, and they finally decided to get rid of them. And they didn't want to check them over at all, so they just labeled it parts and repair. That doesn't necessarily mean something's broken every single time. Although sold as is untested. That might. But these they actually showed working. So I decided to pick these up for about $50 plus shipping. And it came with 1 power adapter, 4 computers, and 4 sets of the OS discs, which I thought was really cool. All 4 of these are mostly the same. The only difference is that one of them has a DVD drive, which is one that I definitely will be keeping. Unfortunately, the one with the DVD drive has a failing hard drive in it, so I need to replace that with an SSD when I have some time to do so, because replacing the drives in these is not fast, easy, or fun. You have to really disassemble these to get to the drive, and I'm sure there'll be a video on that or a stream or something like that at some point or another. So let's go over the machines. So let's use the one on the top for convenience sake. This is the 12. These are the 12-inch models. They all came with batteries, which all the batteries seem to work, which is really nice. I'm not sure which computer this one is. That's 2001. So let's start with the front. So you get the button to undo the latch there. You have your battery, which has the foot on the side of it there. For your I/O, you get a Kensington lock slot. You get 56K modem, Ethernet, Firewire 400, 2 USB 1.1 ports, mini VGA, I think is what that is, and a line out or headphone jack. Plus, there's a little reset button right there in the corner there. And there's this little vent here, which goes right to where the hard drive is. On the other side, you have the charging connector, which is the combination RCA and headphone jack type of connector that they used to use in the late 90s and early 2000s, even up to the mid-2000s. This is the DVD drive, or not. Well, actually, I don't know if this one has the DVD drive or not. This is the optical drive. And the nice thing about these is that there's still tray loading. A lot of the older or the newer Macs that had the slot loading drives have problems after a while. I've experienced that with computers like iMacs, the G4 Cube. PowerBooks not so much, but definitely the iMacs have that problem where the mechanism just is not great, and it fails after a while. It doesn't take the discs in, or it doesn't load them properly, what have you. All these tray drives still work fine. Every single one works just fine, so that's good. I even used one of these and ripped CDs for days on end using it. It was slow, but it worked great. So these have tray loaders, which is a nice plus. Now, these computers, since they're a bit old, the hinges are a little stiff, as you can see. So I have to kind of maneuver a little bit floppy too. But I remember them being a bit floppy when they were new, anyway. But as you can see, the machines are gorgeous looking. Very nice condition. The only downside to these iBook G3s is that I'm guessing they use some sort of adhesive or chemical in the keyboard that outgasses. and it smells awful. It smells almost like body odor. It's pretty disgusting. You know that, I don't know if any of you have ever smelled, you know that smell of corrosion in a laptop. Let's say I had this happen with a Dell Inspiron 2500 that I used to have. I bought this. It clearly had been used near the ocean or something, because I could just smell the corrosion, and it just has that like metallic body. It's like body odor mixed with a metallic sort of smell. This is basically that minus the metallic smell. So it almost smells like corrosion, but it does not have the metal smell in it. It's pretty nasty, but you get nose blind to it after a while. I mean, people really make it sound like it's like someone ripped one and it's just the most disgusting thing ever, but it's not that bad. It's just a little bit smelly. So this is the first machine. Let's take a look at the status of this one. I'm not sure which machine this is. One of these has a failed hard drive. One of these has one that's failing but hasn't failed yet. And I think the other two have working hard drives. They're all 10 gigabyte Toshiba hard drives. And Toshiba hard drives back then, at least in their old age, they don't always last. Looks like this one has OS 10 on it. All these also have 128 megs of RAM as the default configuration. I bought RAM for 2 of them, I think, and because I originally planned to keep 2 of these. I might be keeping the third one, though, just because I'm probably going to need it for making videos, actually. So someone that I know might be getting one of these, and I thought I'd make the video of every single one while I still have them, so I can show you guys. This one, I think, has 128 megs of RAM in it, because you can see it's taking forever for this one to boot up. So, yeah, I mean, these aren't fast. They definitely need RAM. They take SD RAM. They take PC 100, so it's not like the stuff is hard to get. I forget what version of OS 10 this is. I think it's 10.2. Jaguar. Yeah, that's macOS 10.2 for sure. Let me just confirm that. Yep, that's macOS 10.2.8. Actually, this is not a 128 meg version. This is one I put RAM in, so this is one that I'm definitely keeping, I think. This was a 10.2.8 machine that I made as sort of a time capsule. I plan to do some videos on older OS 10 stuff, just because you never really hear about it. And these are the perfect machines to do that, and that's the whole reason I bought these. As you can see, Internet Explorer was on the Mac back then. iChat, there's the old iMovie, all that kind of stuff. So let's go to the System Profiler, and I'll give you an overview of most of the hardware in these Macs. Because most of this is all the same. The only real difference is that one of these has a DVD drive. These machines, as you can see, have built-in RAM, soldered in memory, 64 megs of it. So if you get one of these and it doesn't have RAM in it, it will still run. Although, if you only have 64 megs, I would be using macOS 9 rather than 10 like I'm using here. Here's the processor that's in this machine. It even has the customer serial number and sales order number that I'm sure belonged to the school district that bought these like 15 years ago or whatever. How long ago was 2001? Good God. It's almost 20 years ago. So let's take a look at the hardware tree here and look at the hard drive. It is a Toshiba 10 gig drive. That's what's in all of these, in various states of working and not working. So that's basically the hardware of this machine. I'm going to show you the other machines just to, give you an overview of what I ended up with here. This one is going to be a pretty nice OS 10 machine. I'm sure eventually the drive's going to die in this one, and I'll have to replace it with an SSD as well. So I'm going to get myself some stock of some IDE SSDs and stick them in these computers. I could just use a hard drive, but these are such a pain to take apart and change the drive in that I'm just going to put an SSD in there and be done with it, so that it lasts a lot longer than the hard drive will. Than the old hard drive will, anyway. So I'm just going to have a stock of those lying around. So let's turn this off. Alright, that's one iBook. That's one that goes in the good pile. Let's see what this one is. These all have some scratches and whatnot on the top, but they're all in pretty good shape. From, as you can see, they for being in a school district, for being in a school district, I'm surprised that they're in as good a condition as they are. They haven't really been beat up too much, which makes me think that they were probably owned by or used by teachers. So here's another one. They're all in mostly the same condition, which is nice. The only real cosmetic difference I could find is that in some of the screw holes in the side here, you'll see like little cracks and fissures, but it's mostly cosmetic. It's not really a big deal. This one has OS 9 on it looks like. I'm going to guess that this is the macOS 9 machine that that I set up. We're probably going to be using the macOS 9 machine that I set up. We're going to be using to demonstrate some old software in some future videos. So it's nice to get these in, so we can finally talk about that stuff. Remember that, guys? Remember all the extensions loading in the bottom? Those were the days. That's how I started out using computers. At least really using them. Yeah, this is definitely mine. Look at that background, man. Yeah, this has got Doom 2 on it. It's got Happy Weed, Super Munchers, Talking Number Maze. It's got iTunes, Marathon 2, Wolfenstein 3D. This is definitely mine. I'll probably make a video of an overview of this laptop a little bit more and what I've done to it. Yeah, this one's been set up especially for me. This one I set up mostly just for my use. This has a 128 gigs of memory in it. So this is the stock configuration. This is a completely stock unit because I don't need to upgrade anything to run macOS 9 well. This will run macOS 9 just fine. So this will do well for some older software demonstrations that I plan on for the future. So this is a machine I'll be keeping for sure. Now, one of these two machines could be the one that I end up getting rid of. I'm not sure. The one with the failing hard drive is one that I intend to keep, because the one with the failing hard drive is the one with the DVD drive in it. So let's see if we can spot that one out of the bunch, because it's been a while since I looked these over. Well, what do you know? Looks like it's booting. Or at least it's trying. That drive is not happy. This drive is not happy. I think this is the one with the failing hard drive. I don't know if this one's going to boot. I remember it taking forever to boot this machine with the bad hard drive. So if it does, I'll come back to you. Yeah, this one finally booted, but it struggled a little bit. Let's see if this is the model of mine that has the DVD drive in it. I think it might be. Well, let's see. Let's go to the system, or the Apple System Profiler, and find that out for ourselves. .500 MHz G3. There you go. All right. Devices and volumes. Ah. Okay, so this is not the one. So this is the one that has the sort of flaky hard drive. It works, but it probably should be replaced. It's that sort of deal. So this is the machine that will probably this is the machine that's probably going to go for my collection, because I don't need 4 of these. But this one's at least working enough that it you know, is kind of usable, but it does not have the DVD drive. The DVD drive is the one I want to keep, because I'm going to use that as a probably a macOS 10.3.9 or a 10.4.11 machine. Probably a 10.3.9. I'm not really sure which yet, but this machine is the one that I'm willing to get rid of. I mean, it works. There's nothing wrong with it other than that hard drive. So this is the one that I'll probably part with. It's in just as good a shape as the others, I would say. It doesn't even have the fissures in the plastic and the lid there. So, and the battery seems to work. Yeah, it's in really good shape. It just needs a new drive. So this is the going to go pile. This is the one with the dead hard drive in it. Yeah. This is the one that has a flaky. This one has a flaky hard drive. I think both of them have flaky hard drives. I thought one of them was dead, but maybe I was wrong about that. I put a sticky note here to tell me which one it was. So this is the DVD-ROM one. Let's see if it'll boot for us. So if I recall, this is the one. This one might have had the worst hard drive. I don't remember if it did or not. Oh. Yeah, this one definitely has the dead hard drive in it. That went from flaky to dead pretty quickly. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. This is the one that definitely needs the drive replaced. This one's going to get an SSD when I get around to opening this thing up. The other two work fine, but this one needs some attention. And this is why I'm parting with this one, because this one is has a sort of flaky drive, but it works, whereas this one is totally dead. I'm not sure how long this one has on its drive, but I would replace this drive before it gets really bad. So, you know, it's a project. So that's the one I'll probably part with, because it, you know, I don't need 3 of these, and this one definitely has a problem. So yeah, that's an overview of the 4 MacBooks I have, and I'm going to show you another. Did I say MacBooks? This is an overview of the 4 white iBooks I got in a lot, and yeah, there you go. Let's go over some of the discs you get that I got in the folders with these. Now, this is the interesting part, because it really shows how much software you used to get back in the day with your computer. Here is a macOS 10.0.3 disc. So this is the very first version of OS 10 that was still basically next step for the most part. You get your iBooks software restore DVDs. This basically this restores, I think, an image to the computer, which is what I used to restore one of these already, just to see what it did. You get software install disk, applications disk. So you get all this stuff in the image, or you can get it broken out into disks, which is really nice. iMovie version 2 for macOS 9.1. iMovie 2 for macOS 10, because it comes with both, of course, and the hardware test CD, which you traditionally got with your computer back then. So you really got your full CD set of software with these computers back in the day. It was really nice. I kind of wished I still I kind of wished I still did this only with flash drives or something. So that's basically what you get in these envelopes. So yeah, how neat is that, man? I think I got a pretty good deal out of these. I got two fully functional iBooks, one that needs a drive, and one that's sort of in between that I'll probably be parting with at some point. I'll have to see how that works out with the person that wants to take this off my hands. So, yeah, that was an overview of the 4 iBooks I got a deal on. I have more Vintage Mac stuff coming in the future, including another machine that you haven't seen yet. We're going to save that for a video on its own because I have a lot to say about it. But I thought I'd give you guys a good look at these. Sometimes in this world of, you know, vintage computers basically being labeled as e-waste, no matter how valuable they are, sometimes you get lucky. Here, I think I really got lucky. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, these are the machines I'm keeping. That's the one that's going. So hope you all enjoyed this video. More Mac stuff to come in the future. Stay tuned. And just so those of you know, I'm now promoting my social media and other things down in the description. Down there's a Twitter, my Facebook page, a Patreon page, and a Discord. So if any of you want to partake in that, I suggest taking a look in the description. And yeah, there you go. Other than that, have a good one, everybody. Ciao.